Hello! It is time for part 3 of the Elka Concorde saga. There's gonna be many more parts because for this part I already filmed 142 video clips. This project is taking really long. It's been like a couple of months now, I think. This part 3 is basically taking individual parts of the Elka synth and cleaning them up, doing repairs, maintenance, whatever is needed for that part to be like as new again. I ordered loads of components, lots of tinning of traces because there was quite a bit of corrosion on the PCBs. So much work already, and I'm about halfway through putting the Elka back together basically. Part 4 will also be more of the same, simply because it's just so much and I need to get a video out. So yeah, I need to split it up a little bit more than I originally planned. So yeah, enough talking, without further ado, hippity hoppity, I'm gonna make this Elka my property. I don't know. I didn't script this. Okay, I gave it all a bit of varnishing and that's drying now, so hopefully that will protect the paint well enough. And yeah, then I gotta tomorrow I'm gonna get some polishing equipment so I can start polishing the metal work. Okay, I've glued all the PCB holders, all the rubbers. Bison kit glue. That's really good stuff. It takes a while to dry. It takes pretty long actually, but once it's solid, it's really sturdy. So yeah. Okay, so here we have the power supply board. On the left is where all the stuff from the transformer comes. To the right we have the, what was it, plus minus 12 volt and minus 27 volt. Now, do you notice anything really baffling about this board? I'm gonna wait a second, see if you can see it, because it's really stupid, and I'm actually surprised it worked pretty reliably so far. See this shit? This isn't even soldered. It's just the wires just sticking through. No solder connection. They're just kind of just wedged against the solder, which is probably what kept the connection going. But like, the fuck? Somebody really was forgetful when assembling this thing. Whoopsie daisies. Well, let me solder that. There we go. That's quite a bit better. The rest looks pretty okay. So, and I need to make connectors on here. I need to figure that part out too. Okay. 3 down, 1 to go. There's some of the pins that were in there. As you can see, it's just one big blob of solder that I have to remove. But it's worth it, because yeah, no one is ever gonna have to suffer like me ever again. It does look a lot better though. Originally this was mounted on a piece of thin cardboard or something. I don't know what it was, but it was really grody. I put a piece of plastic in between there now. It's just a little bit thicker and provides better insulation, and yeah, it's a little bit more long lasting than a piece of cardboard. Okay, so I noticed this little screw hole over here. So what I'm going to do is add another one, because normally 2 ground wires are soldered on here, and those wires like go to other places in the synth, which is very impractical. Okay, that's the new screw terminal mounted in place. I also color coded the screw terminals, well, except for yellow, because I didn't have a yellow marker, but you know, these little things make things just that more serviceable. Well, actually, I realize now that this also needs to be connected, these 2 terminals. So, and then yeah, the cards can go on here, and the little cards holder can go on there, and yeah, then this thing is done, I think. Time to tackle the power supply boards, A, B, and C. Okay, so I removed the capacitors, especially this one, because this is a Sprague capacitor, a very popular brand from the time apparently. But look at this date code, 24th week of 1975, so this thing is 46 years old. It looks really good for such an old capacitor, I will say, but yeah, and given the rarity of some of the components in the Elka, I want to have the PSU in pristine condition. So yeah, 2 more boards to go, and I have to find some replacement capacitors. So here's an interesting fact, where cards A and B actually have 1 heatsink for the plus and minus 12 volts. The minus 27 volts actually has 2 heatsinks, which is basically the same thing, that's bent at different sizes. So yeah, this one I guess needed the extra cooling, which is kind of interesting. And that is now the second time I find a half-assed solder joint in this thing. Okay, that's 1 board finished with the new capacitors. Look at how small these are. They're all rated at 50 volts. And 1 of 1000 microfarads and 2 of 10 microfarads. I also mounted the now clean heatsink. So yeah, that's board A done. Now the other 2 boards, and then it can go into the power supply. I 3D printed some covers for the mains IC connector and the fuse holder, since that has some exposed live contacts. Okay, and that is a new power supply, or well, old new. 1% done. Oh well. Okay, I used some rust remover and let all the screws soak in it, and look at these, how clean they are. And then that should be the last of the rust dealt with. Okay, I'm assembling the spring reverb, and I still had these door protection things. I used a little bit of pad to put some padding on this this thing that dampens the reverb. Anyways, I gotta remove these chips because there's corrosion on this board, and corrosion is a very bad thing if they get on, well, into the chips. Okay, so I'm not gonna put them in the anti-static pad yet, because some of these legs are a bit gnarly and I don't want to get any corrosion in there. Okay, I noticed that some of these chips specifically these, are much newer. This one has date code of 14th week of 1987, which is yeah, about 10 years later, 11 years later than this thing was built. So in the meantime, the framework is coming together. Let's also take a closer look at that. So here's all the metal parts, most with a new chrome paint finish. Also mounted some of these already. Mounted the spring reverb with the little mute thing. New cushion in there and everything. So yeah, it's making good progress, but it's probably gonna take another month to finish this. So go figure. Well, I'm going to make an attempt to clean the innards of this quartz keyboard a little bit. I'm glad I removed that because there's a lot of crap in here. So I'm gonna need to clean that up. At least this gives a little bit of a better view of these tabs. Yeah, some of these have cracks in them. That's pretty loose actually, yeah. That one is breaking apart, so that's why I need to check all these tabs and get at them somehow. Wait, did I say that was the last of the rust? Of course not, there's always more. Okay, so the screw to get the second PCB loose, or at least the last screw, is hidden under there. So I need to move these plates apart. Now here's a little trick, get a flathead screwdriver, stick it in here, just turn it 90 degrees, and there you go. Now I have a little space to get at that screw. Little trickaroo. Okay, I should admit my sins. Didn't realize this though, that black corrosion means that this is silver or silver plated. I don't think there's much silver left on there. I mean, these are 40-year-olds, and yeah, it's 40 years of corrosion. This sandpaper will likely have removed any remaining silver that was on there. So I'm gonna clean this proper with some alcohol, and what I'm gonna do with these little bars, I'm just gonna tin them with some tin solder. Hopefully that will help a little bit. Okay, got a little bottle of alcohol, and yeah, try the PCB on the left and you can see the difference. Okay, so I desoldered these pots because they're, yeah, super dirty. I cleaned this one already with some alcohol, toothbrush and some stainless steel wool. And that's looking a lot better already. Also, this is the best cleaning soundtrack. Fuck yes. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Okay, well that is the connectors connected, if you will. One more missing. I don't know where that one is currently actually. I think it's in the parts box. Oh boy. Wires everywhere, and I'm gonna desolder all of them because I'm a moron. No, really though, but I feel like tackling the drawbars box, because that also needs to be cleaned up, needs to be taken apart, and then I can mount it on the frame. Okay, well that's the drawbars. There we go, in all their glory. Kind of interesting. So you can see there's PCBs on both sides. So there's two sliders in there, and both are just connected to the single drawbar. Move it around, you can see. So that's kind of an interesting, yeah, sandwich construction to make this work. The other side doesn't have them. These are just single sliders. As you can see, it's all very dirty. So I'm going to take this apart, clean it up with alcohol and brush and everything, and yeah, By the way, can I just say there's a single screw for every single drawbar on each PCB. Like on this side too. Like look at all these screws. Just how sturdy did I want to make this thing? Well, I appreciate it, although it's a little bit of a work to take it apart. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of this filth stuff. Filthy stuff, more like. That's on the sliders to keep dust out of them. But yeah, of course that accumulates dust for like 40 years, so they're kind of gross. So I just removed them. I'm just gonna use some Brillo pad foam to replace it. Hopefully it works. It's a little bit improvised and DIY, but yeah, I would have no idea. You can get these 40-year-old yeah, little it's not quite foam, it's more like some sort of foamy fabric stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna use the sponge. Well, okay, that's the drawbars, all neat. Of course, you can still see the corrosion well, not corrosion itself, but the effect it has had on this metal plate. But it's not the worst. So at least it's all clean, rust-free, and painted. So yeah, now I can put this on the frame. Okay, next up is the mono synth PCB, or the motherboard, if you will. I removed all the wires because there's a lot of gross stuff under there. I don't even want to know what that is. Okay, so initial cleaning with alcohol done. It looks much cleaner now. But the underside, yeah, does have a lot of this corrosion, staining. Especially here, you can see it's actually starting to become green, so this ate through to the copper. I'm also going to replace this capacitor because that thing is old. Yeah, this is a lot of work, but hopefully it will be worth it. Okay, so cleaned this board, and I removed some capacitors and some crusty resistors. I replaced this resistor over here. It's a 1K resistor that was looking very crusty, very cracked up and weird. But yeah, I'm gonna mount this. Normally it would be mounted straight into the metal, but I'm gonna put these little nylon washers. They're perfect to kind of separate the PCB boards from the metal frame. And I don't really like that, metal on metal touching, especially with all the corrosion it's had in the past. I don't really trust it, so I'm gonna put these little washers in there. Hopefully that should be a little bit better. Okay, next board. The stickers are very grody, and yeah, this one is pretty gross. There's some really old crusty capacitor botches on there too. So 104, that's 100 nano. Okay, well, I still have a few of those, so I should be able to replace those. Hey, do you like capacitors? Because I got lots of capacitors. Ooh, wow, and that's just the first order. You know, solder joints like this one over here just made me kind of sad. It looks barely connected, and most of them look like this. I've been reflowing most of the solder joints already. Just another one on the list, I guess. Okay, I don't know if it is very clearly visible on the cam here, but on the video, but look at these traces. They're all lifted. At first I thought it was broken, but yeah, this is definitely done on purpose. Okay. I've never seen something like this before. Look at this. Apparently that was their solution to not having extra traces or a double-sided PCB. Okay, interesting. well, that was a lot of soldering and a lot of effort, but I finally got the master oscillator and divider board loose, and as you can see, it is very nasty. Especially those sockets, they look horrible. I kinda wanna try and refurbish this board and see if I can get creative with some 40-40 binary counters. Maybe? Because otherwise it would be a little bit of a waste. I'm not sure what happened here actually. That looks kind of weird. Fake this board, otherwise okay. It's mostly just the top half and these sockets that really need to be removed. It needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, let's try that before I go with the route of my replacing this entirely. Maybe I can hack this thing into something, you know, a bit of a combination of old and new. I like that idea. Okay, let's try something. This is how dirty the PCB is under those sockets. Yeah. There we go. That's better. Another interesting little detail. This kind of looks like it would fit a big trimmer, wouldn't it? The tuning connector lugs are also right here, and I see a little bridgey botchy there. Now if we turn it around, there it is, you see that the connectors for the tuning actually connect to here as well. So I guess at first they decided to have the tuner on here, then they changed their mind or something, but yeah, I'm not sure why they left this here. It's kind of weird. But okay. Ooh, well, 172 joints later. And my thumb hurts like crazy. I have so much muscle ache in my hand right now. But hey, I did it. Yay. Now I can fully clean it, especially these little spots of black corrosion everywhere. Hello, little friend. Where did you come from? Where are you? Funky looking creature. Okay, let's just crawl out of this. Hello. Oh, it's on my finger. Look at that. That's one new old stock 74221 dual multi-vibrato, I believe it was. That's looking a lot better than what it used to be. Okay, on to the rest of it. Okay, well, this is the next victim. Okay, that was about 100 wires desoldered. I hope all these capacitors are still in good condition, because that's a lot of them. And these bus bars, luckily these bus bars, excuse me for the shaky cam, but you can just pull them out, so that's actually very neat. So cleaning those should be easy. Shiny. Okay, I'm cleaning up the springs with the stainless steel wool. You can see the difference. I've already done these a little bit. They're actually looking like silver again. Whereas these are all still grody. Whew, that was a lot of work, but yeah, all the corrosion is removed and everything is tinned and cleaned up with alcohol, and yeah, the whole sugar and the gurns. Springs are a lot cleaner than they were before. So much better. So shiny. Okay, now the PCB is all cleaned up and everything, it's time to tackle the mechanical part of the treble keyboard, because it is still very dirty, as you can see. It needs to be taken apart and cleaned and well, the usual. Well, this is gonna be my life for the next hour or so, because I need to unscrew all these buttons so I can remove this this plastic top cover. Actually can get at the inside a little bit better. I also contacted a local music instrument store. This store sells accordions and they do repairs, and they say they have parts too, so I asked them if they have these buttons. Hopefully they do, and then I can replace some of them and also add the missing ones. Okay, so that's the top cover removed and cleaned up a little bit. That's looking a lot better now. Yeah, I'm just looking at the mechanics of this wonderful keyboard. One question. This key isn't actually attached to a tab. In fact, there's not even space for one. So is this just this key just for show, I guess? Okay, so here we're looking at the mechanics from the side, and you can see how it works. There's the tabs here that connect to the springs, to the spring contacts, and well, for some keys they just move one key. For others, like this one, you see it moves two keys. That's just how accordions work, I guess. You can see one key has a small lever, and then it has a little bridging piece, which you can see here too. This one is actually not connected to anything. And that moves also the second lever, which in turn moves the tab. You can just about see it. Boy, oh, that has quickly evolved into a mess. Just a spring in between there. Okay. So that's how the spring works. Oh, there's a little hole in here that the spring sticks into, and then the actual spring part itself is between these two metal plates, and it then pushes in like this. Okay. Wow. Just wow. Look at all that. Gross. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this actually, because ooh, wow, that is a lot of crud. One of these little bridging tabs is broken off. I wonder if that explains why one of the keys didn't work. Well, I guess I'll figure it out at some point. Well, that took me like almost 1.5 hours, but those are all cleaned up, and the strings are all in the de-rusting chemical mix. So those will be cleaned tomorrow. And yeah, that was another busy day. Tomorrow I'm going to do this thing, the metal framework of the keyboard, because it's very rusty crusty. It needs sanding and polishing and repainting and all that good stuff. But that is for episode 4 of this series, and look at this mess. Oh wow. Yeah, I've done a lot already, but there's still so much to do. I also found this stuff, which might be useful for as replacement for those little cushions in the keybeds. Because you know, it's soft, it's squishy, and it has a sticky side, so you can stick it to stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. But again, that's for part 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this part 3 so far, and well, I'm looking forward to finishing this thing someday. See you guys next episode. Bye bye.